Greetings, I'm Jen with Jen Grant Presents, and I'm happy to have you here. Thank you for being interested in learning a little bit more about this program and how it can support you and your team. This work is something I am super passionate about, and I'm just so thrilled to be able to share it with you. There are 4 components to this program, and it's all about understanding vicarious trauma and compassion fatigue and what that looks like, and then marrying that with tools and techniques so that you and your team can handle it a little bit better. And as we handle it better, we're able to expand our capacity for service. You see, one thing that I have learned and know for sure is that the people that are in this work are happy to be here. They want to be here. They want to be caregivers. They want to be helpers. They want to be in the position that they're in order to support others to have better lives. They got into this work for a purpose. And sometimes, even though they got into this work for a purpose, it can be challenging. That's where compassion fatigue and various trauma really show up, because they care. Compassion fatigue is defined as the price we pay for caring. Now, as we get into this work and dive in further, we don't want to let that price we pay for caring burn us out. So this workshop is all about creating tools and techniques and sharing a toolkit so that you and your team can walk away knowing better how to handle compassion fatigue and vicarious trauma. Although I can't take the experiences away, I can give you the tools to help you move through it better. This workshop is an all-day workshop. Typically, of course, we can customize as needed. But typically, as an all-day workshop, there are 4 components to this program. The first component is understanding and assessment. We need to have an idea of what this really is, what it looks like, and where are you on the assessment of it. So we'll take a little bit of time to go through an assessment to give you and your team a better understanding. We'll take a little bit of time to have discussion around these big terms, this compassion fatigue and vicarious trauma. What is it? What does it really mean? Why does it matter? And how are you potentially suffering from it or experiencing it in the everyday lives? From there, we'll dive into a little bit of mindfulness and self-care. We'll begin opening up this really big topic. Mindfulness and self-care can be buzzwords. Maybe you've already heard them. I'm certain that you have. Buzzwords, but what do they really mean? Why does it matter? And how do we take them on in ways that suit us? So we'll have a discussion so that we have an understanding about mindfulness and self-care, what they mean, why do they matter, what's the difference? We'll also break the myth that mindfulness doesn't only mean meditation. There are many practices that we will touch on regarding mindfulness so that you can find what works for you, so that everyone on your team can find what works for him or her. We'll have lunch together where we'll share. We'll have an opportunity for Q&A, exploration a little bit further. Maybe we can just dive in and connect with each other in a way that really brings the team together. One of the things that I've learned deeply is that when we feel connected, when we feel like we're on a team, when we feel that cohesiveness, that really makes us feel heard, seen, and understood. And that feels good. And when we feel good, we have more energy, more excitement, more passion to continue moving forward. So our lunchtime will be centered around that. When we come back from lunch, our third block will all be focused on mindfulness practice. So we will gather a variety of tools and practice them. We'll practice so that you and your team can each find at least 2 or 3 tools that fit them the best. You see, mindfulness is all about expanding the awareness. It's all about expanding the space. It's all about this idea that when we understand and expand a little bit more within, we can then bring in the tools of self-care. But if we haven't created that space, the self-care will go unnoticed and unserving. So this mindfulness practice during block 3 is all about giving some options. It's practicing and giving some options so that you and your team can walk away with at least 2 or 3 techniques that work best for you, knowing that everybody is unique and everybody needs something a little bit different, and we'll find what that is. And then in block 4, we start out with a conversation around self-care. We start out diving into what does that mean. Now that we've created the space and we understand more about mindfulness, how are we going to fill it up? There is a saying that nature abhors a vacuum. And when we empty a space out, we need to be deliberate about how we're filling it in. So with mindfulness, we're going to create that space. And with the self-care conversation, we're going to decide how we want to fill it in. What feels best for you. Understanding that self-care to me may look and feel very different to self-care to you and everyone on your team. So the first part of block 4 will be focused on self-care, and then the remaining of our time together, the very end, we will create a toolkit. Each person on your team will walk away with a better understanding of what compassion fatigue is to them, what their triggers are, how they can support it through mindfulness, and then how they're going to fill it in with self-care. This workshop is a complete circle. It's a complete understanding. We start from point A and we move all the way through. Understanding and recognizing that when we give you these tools and techniques, you and your team can show up and serve in a better way. Because when you are feeling better, everyone else around you feels better too. I look forward to working with you on this, creating a program that fits your needs best. I can't wait to connect with you. If you're ready to learn more, schedule your workshop, or have your questions answered, you can reach me below. I can't wait to connect. Thanks so much for taking just a few minutes to learn more about this program. I'm Jen with Jen Grant Presents, and I look forward to working with you soon. Have a great day.